Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. So today I'm going to start out with my bag of words to see what I'm inspired to share. Let's see, what do we got? First word is achieve. Okay, achieve. Let's see. Let me pull out another word, see what I have. Panic. Interesting. I think I had this word recently for some reason. It's in my head. And last but not least, let's see, we have promise. Ooh, promise. Promise came out last, but I felt so good when I picked that word out. It made me think of when we promise something to ourselves, right? When we make a commitment to ourselves, when we say, I promise to love myself every day. I promise to commit to doing my best. I promise to whatever, right? Whatever feels good to us, whatever we think will help us, right? Become that version of ourselves that feels more in alignment with our soul, right? So when we make a promise to ourselves, it can be anything, but it has to feel like something that feels in alignment for ourselves. We're more likely to be motivated to keep a promise that we make to ourselves that comes from a soul place, right? That's aligned with something deep within us. If we just, make a promise that we're not really that committed to, but it just makes sense, or it sounds good, or it'd be a great idea, then we're not as invested, and chances are it'll be easier for us to break that promise. But when it is in alignment with our soul, we are more motivated. Sometimes, yes, we may get distracted with our day-to-day functioning, and so it's always good to write down what that promise is and to read it every day so that we remember it, right? We always come back to that promise, that it's like we're remembering that intention, that promise, that desire that we have, right? And when we repeat it every day, we're reconnecting with it, because like I said, it's easy to get distracted throughout the day and to lose focus and to break out of the promise because we're a creature of habit. And if we don't consciously do it, then it's easy for us to get off track. So, and then the next word I'm going to go with is achieve. When we keep that promise, we feel like we are getting closer to achieving something that we want. And whenever we achieve something, even if it's something small, it helps us feel good. And I'm not talking about this overinflated sense of feeling good, but this sense of, yes, I achieved this, I did this, right? It boosts our confidence, right? That if we can do this, right, then yes, maybe there's a possibility we can do this other thing too that we desire to do. It's kind of like building up, right, on things that we want to achieve and things that we want to experience. So yes, when we are committing and following through with our promises, we are more likely to achieve what it is that we want and to feel inspired and good and confident about that achievement, right? It shows us that we are capable of doing the thing that we want to do, right? So the last word was panic. So panic makes me think of what we feel, this intense, yucky feeling that we feel that feels extremely overwhelming, and we kind of just like, jumping out of our skin when we're feeling really unsettled within. A lot of times we think, we're panicking because of what's happening externally, but we can also panic about what's happening within ourselves. And generally that's what's triggering the panic-like symptoms anyway. And it doesn't have to be, panic-like symptoms like it says, in the DSM-5, but just this feeling of uneasiness, of like a freaking out state of being, because there's something unsettled within us. And usually we feel that when we're letting ourselves down and we're not making promises to ourselves or not committing to the promises that we have made to ourselves, right? Whenever we let ourselves down, we are going to feel really yucky, things are going to spiral, and we're going to eventually get to that place of panic-like feelings, and we're going to freak out inside because we're going to feel so overwhelmed with our emotions because we've lost sight, we've lost track, we have lost this focus, and we've gotten so caught up with what isn't in alignment with our soul. We've gotten caught up with the five senses. We've gotten caught up with what's happening around us and with all the thoughts that are running around in our head. And we lose focus, we get panicked, and it all goes downhill from there. Now, does this mean that we can't recover? Absolutely not. Of course we can, right? But we also have to do something consciously to recover, to bring ourselves back. And sometimes it could be as simple as shifting our attention to something else, talking to somebody and venting what it is that, it's on our mind. Sometimes it can be, taking a pause and taking several deep breaths, right? It can be focusing in on an object, touching something, for a certain amount of time and focusing on that feeling of what it feels like. In other words, you can do something that can shift you. You can put cold water on your face, cold water on your neck, and shift anything. There's really no right or wrong. It's just what feels good to you and what helps you shift from that panic-like state. Because once you're able to shift and at least, break the connection and that feeling, and you're able to interrupt it, then you're able to think more clearly about the next step or what else you can do or what else you want to do. You can think about your divine connection, you can think about anything, but it will allow you to think and be able to refocus yourself. But you gotta break out of it, right? We have to interrupt that feeling that we're experiencing in that moment that is overwhelming, so that we can remember, right? If we do remind ourselves of, the divine existence within and around us, that when we do that, right, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, wait, this isn't, exactly 100% true. And we're remembering, right, that there's more. Right, that there is this divine energy that lives and breathes through us. There's this divine energy that supports us, and we can ground ourselves with that. Or we can remind ourselves, right, that we have the ability to create a shift. We can remind ourselves of anything, but anything is possible when we're able to break away from that panic-like state. And yeah, that's pretty much what's coming to me that I want to share with you at this moment. I hope that helps you and that you have a beautiful day. Bye for now.